Good morning, seventh graders. Mr. Feld here. It is Thursday morning. I'm going to give you a quick lesson today on complex fractions. And I'm going to give me an assignment through Edulastic, and I apologize yesterday for the Google Slides. I know it was the type that was really small and hard to see sometimes, and I apologize for that. So we're trying to come up with some alternatives here. Um, so I want to keep this. I don't want to get too long on this. Try to keep it under 10 minutes. If you get halfway through and you need to pause and take a break, pause and take a break. No problem. If you're familiar with the information, you don't need to listen to a certain part. Feel free to fast forward it, rewind, whatever you need to do. We're going to talk about complex fractions. So fractions like 20 over 1/2, those are called complex fractions. Right? Pretty simple. Now, I know most of you hate fractions to begin with, let alone complex fractions. Kind of super scary here, but they're not difficult when you understand how they work and what they mean and how to deal with them. It's really pretty simple. Okay, complex fractions are fractions where the numerator, denominator, or fractions where the numerator, denominator are both that are also fractions. Right? Complex fractions are simplified when both the numerator and the denominator are integers, which essentially means, for lack of a better term, whole numbers, okay, not fractions, right? So we're going to jump right into this. We're going to look at example one. Okay, and these are also in your book. If you want to follow along in your book, you can do that as well. I will also post a copy of these notes that are filled out on your Google Drive. And I'll make a quick tutorial video later on to show you how to get there and to see those. So if I have 1/4 over 2, okay, the important thing to remember here, right, is that fractions can also be written as a division problem, right? So that's kind of the key. So 1/4 over 2 also means 1/4 divided by 2, right? So when we look at it that way, we can simplify these pretty easily, right? So we just have to do 1/4 divided by 2. Well, some of you may, so our first step, you're going to write the complex fraction as a division problem, okay? And then if you remember when we divide fractions, we actually multiply the reciprocal, right? So the second number, the 2, okay, sorry, that's wrong. We're going to multiply the reciprocal. So what's the reciprocal of 2? So the reciprocal of 2 would be 1/2. So now we're going to multiply the reciprocal, and then we're going to simplify. So when we multiply fractions, of course, we just multiply the numerators, which is 1 times 1 is 1, multiply the denominators, 4 times 2 is 8. So to simplify 1/4 over 2, okay, 1/4 over 2 is simplified to 1/8, okay? Let's try another one. We're going to simplify 1 over 1/2, right? So first step, okay, write as a division problem. 1 divided by 1/2. Step 2, multiply by the reciprocal. 1 times the reciprocal of 1/2 is 2 over 1. Okay, then we're going to simplify. We're multiplying. We can make that a fraction too if that makes you feel better. 1 times 2 is 2. 1 times 1 is 1. So 2 over 1 or 2. So if you think about that, it makes sense, right? Because we're saying 1 over 1/2. So how many times is 1/2 going to 1? Well, there's 2 halves in 1 whole, so 2. So simplified 1 over 1/2 would be simplified to 2. Moving along. We'll do a couple of these examples. I don't know if we'll go through all 4 of them, but again, these are examples that are in your book as well. So let's just try another one. We have 2 over 2/3, right? So again, step 1, right, is a division problem. 2 divided by 2/3, okay? Multiply by the reciprocal, 2 times 3 over 2. We can make this into a fraction, 2, and multiply. 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And simplify that. 6 over 2 would be simplified to 3. Okay? Let's go down to letter C. We have, again, write this as a division problem. 2/3 divided by 7. That's step 1. Step 2, multiplied by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 7 would be 1/7. And then we simplify. 2 times 1 is 2. 3 times 7 is 21. So we have 2 21sts. Okay. So again, follow your steps. First step would be here, would be to write as a division problem. Second step, multiply by the reciprocal. And then third step is we actually multiply across. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. So we can use this to find unit rates as well. Okay, when fractions of complex fractions represent different units, you can find the unit rate. So first word problem here, Josiah can jog 1 1/3 of a mile in 1/4 of an hour. Find his average speed in miles per hour. Well, to do that, we would have to take 1 1/3 divided by 1/4, right? So we have complex fraction here, right? So let's write this as a division problem. So first thing we're going to do, of course, when we're dealing with mixed numbers and multiplication division, first thing we need to do is convert them to mixed numbers. So 1 1/3 as a mixed number is 4/3 divided by 1/4, right? That's step 1. Step 2 would be multiply by the reciprocal, so it would be 4 over 1. And then we multiply. 4 times 4 is 16. 3 times 1 is 3. Well, we have an improper fraction. We need to bring it back to a mixed number. So 3 goes into 16 5 times. We got 1 left over. So 5 1/3. So Josiah can jog an average speed of 5 1/3 miles per hour. One more problem. T is painting her house. She paints 34 1/2 square feet in 3/4 an hour. At this rate, how many square feet can she paint each hour? Okay. So again, we take that 34 1/2 divided by 3/4, right? So first thing we need to do is convert that 34 1/2 into an improper fraction. 2 times 34 is 68 plus 1. So we have 69 over 2 divided by 3/4. Okay, again. So then we step 2, 69 over 2 times the reciprocal, 4 over 3. Okay. We do this, we have 69 times 4 is 276 over 2 times 3 is 6. Okay. 6 goes into 276 46 times, right? So Tia can paint 46 square feet. Again, I feel like I went through that pretty quickly, but it's a pretty straightforward process with complex fractions and dealing with them. Again, remember your steps. Number 1, rewrite it as a division problem. Step 2, you're just going to deal with division and fraction just like you know how. So you're going to turn it into multiplication. Second number, you're going to essentially flip or the reciprocal, and then multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators. Okay, watch out for improper fractions, mixed numbers. If you have a mixed number, make sure you convert that to an improper fraction before you divide or multiply. If you have any questions, shoot me an email. Have a good day, guys.